Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show. Today's topic is, why is France so intent on Syria? In trying to research for this topic, I of course went to the regular sources, AP News, Reuters, and then going from there to going to the mainstream media. Of course, the only thing I then saw was the same exact article repeated on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, what have you. So everybody's notion that the news is so drastically different is really deluding themselves into not seeing the truth for what it is. The real reason that France is so intent on Syria and trying to attack Syria is because they have a homegrown problem in France of their own, and that is radical Muslims. Really, it's Muslims. There's no such thing as radical Muslim. Muslims have taken up arms inside of France, and the problem is growing with Syria. You have Frenchmen actually packing up and moving to Syria to side with Al-Qaeda, whom I guess they don't understand is a terrorist organization. And France, in trying to prevent this, instead of coming out and saying, we have this problem, can we have some international help, they instead is trying to get the U.S. to attack Syria, so then they can go in and attack Syria and I guess retrieve their people, or I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to brainwash the people back into being regular French people. I don't know what they want. Or what they could do is simply kick out the Muslims out of their country, because the Muslims have caused a lot of problems in France. It's something that you don't hear about here in the United States, but it is ridiculous. Islam in Europe has just wreaked so much havoc. They murder people, they slaughter people, they take over whole sections of a city, and then if anybody comes in and they don't adhere to whatever they believe in, they kill them. It has gotten to such a degree that some parts of Sweden, the actual mayors or what have you, have been shot or beaten or whatever, and the country won't do anything because they don't want to be seen as being evil or anti-Muslim or Semitic, if you will, since they are real Semites. So France, getting back to France, France has a problem with Muslims in their country wreaking havoc, but they don't want to come out and admit that. Instead, they want to target Syria, and I guess maybe they'll secretly start funneling the Muslims to Syria on the old pirate ship or ship type of thing. They beat them over the head and kidnap them, and they wake up in Syria, a day or two later. I don't know what's going to go on with that and why and what they hope to accomplish with it. But remember that Syria was part of the French occupation of the Ottoman Empire, and they carved out Syria after all of that was settled. So Syria is now the opposition to Russia and China, and so Syria wants to keep painting Assad as being a terrorist and murdering his people, when Russia says that point blank there is absolutely no evidence that Assad has done any of that stuff. And Russia, the ministers who meet with France, have said that if you keep repeating this lie loud enough in every capital of Europe, of course they're going to try and side with you. You need to send people who can go there and investigate without passion. Telling a Frenchman he can't have passion, I don't know what that's going to accomplish. Without passion, to investigate with forensic evidence, the forensic evidence of the missiles and what have you, you will clearly see that it was not Assad who did those attacks. And Russia is the only one standing. What I find amazing is that when it's Russia versus France, the mainstream media comes right out and says, oh, Assad isn't the one who did the attacks. But that's only a title when it's Russia versus France. When it's the President of the United States, it's oh yes, that evil Assad, he's murdered all of his people. But when it's two foreign countries, now that the president has stepped out of supposedly Syria, the mainstream media can actually go and report actual facts that Russia has done investigation on the attacks and found that it was all Al-Qaeda. Anyway, thank you, and that's a little brief history about France and Syria. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.